Hey everyone, Scott McCartney here. 2020 wasn't a normal year for travel or anything. Air travel hasn't been this disrupted since 9/11, and the pandemic has been much worse. But like every other year, planes still got stuck on the tarmac for hours, arrived late to their destinations, and bags still got lost. We've dug into loads of data that all airlines track and compiled rankings in 7 categories for the best and worst major U.S. airlines of the year. Let's start with formal complaints. Okay, here we go. This is what really mattered to consumers last year. In the study period, there were more than 97,000 complaints filed at the Department of Transportation. That's only a small part of angry customers that actually take the trouble to file a complaint formally. But a year earlier, there were only 15,000 complaints. More than 83,000 of those 97,000 complaints were about refunds. Refund complaints increased more than 5,000%. United and Frontier were the big offenders. Both of them changed rules during the pandemic, and both made it really difficult for customers to get refunds that they were owed. Remember, when an airline cancels a flight, you are supposed to be entitled to the option of a refund. Next, reliability. Which airlines are better at getting you where you want to go? This category is on-time arrivals. The industry average for on-time arrivals was 84% of scheduled flights. In 2019, the average was 79%, 5 points lower. Delta was darn good at 87%. And even with the skies open, Allegiant could only get 73% of its flights to the gate on time. Next, tarmac delays. We look at 2-hour tarmac delays. That's kind of the pain threshold for passengers stuck in a cabin, right? The numbers were small this year, but still there was significant variation. Southwest had only 42 flights that sat on the ground for 2 hours with passengers aboard. Delta had 206. Next category, mishandled baggage.
Please watch your luggage.
Here some of the improvement came from airlines and their systems, not from lighter loads. Southwest started scanning bags and monitoring the health of airport baggage systems and moved up to number 2. Southwest had the best improvement. American's rate of mishandled bags was down 24%. That's good, but that wasn't nearly enough to get it out of the baggage cellar. Extreme delays. This category is flights delayed 45 minutes or more. You're not necessarily sitting on the airplane, but you are inconvenienced. In other words, when things go wrong, they go bad wrong. And there's wide variation among airlines. Only 2% of Southwest flights fell into this category, but 8% of Allegiant flights. Ouch. Canceled flights. Cancellations were huge this past year, right? But the Department of Transportation says a flight is canceled if it's scrubbed within 7 days of departure. Before that, it's considered a schedule change. So a lot of pandemic impact came in schedule changes. The industry officially canceled 6% of its flights in 2020. That's a big number, especially compared to less than 2% of the flights that were canceled in 2019. Involuntary bumping. Okay, so with few people flying, how could airlines possibly overbook flights and involuntary bump passengers? They did, all pandemic long. Not as many, of course, but still hundreds of people. Delta, however, bumped only 5 passengers in the 12 months covered by the study. It got tens of thousands of passengers to voluntarily change their flights. Delta offered sweet incentives to do that. American, by contrast, bumped more than 5,000. American actually accounted for 77% of all U.S. airline bumping over the last 12 months. The overall winner in airline performance last year, Southwest. Southwest was just consistently good, at the top in most categories. The one exception was cancellations. It took Southwest longer than other airlines to publish new schedules, so it canceled a lot of flights close to departure. But otherwise, consistently good service at Southwest and very few complaints. The overall loser? American again. American has been last or next to last in 12 of the 13 years we've done the scorecard. American had trouble with long delays, baggage handling, and bumping passengers. American wasn't very punctual compared to others. There was no category where American Airlines was any better than the middle of the pack. Pandemic or no, American has work to do to become a more reliable airline. Don't you long for the days when you got delayed because there were so many planes trying to go somewhere? Next year, maybe worse airline performance will really be a good thing.